This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Theatre West for the premiere of The Claw. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with?
I'm Linda Rand, the director.
Oh, great. And the director of which play?
The Claw.
Great. Okay, so Linda, why did you decide to do this play?
Somebody wanted the theater to know that I was a director because they only know me as a playwright and an actor. And they said, why don't you read the plays for writers in rep? And I had known Jules Selbo's play and knew it was brilliant, but I wanted to read the other one. And I couldn't put it down. I was literally laughing out loud in my chair, reading off my computer, which I never do. I always have a script. And I saw the vision for it immediately.
So how did you cast this play anyway? I was really impressed with the talent that you got.
We were very careful because with this kind of a piece, it's brilliantly written, but if you don't balance and have good actors who understand farce, it'll fall flat in its face. So we were able to use mostly people from Theatre West, but we had to go outside of Theatre West for the two young men. And we had 3 days of auditions, and we finally found the men that we have right now. The chemistry was there with Felicity, and it was just, perfect mix. Brilliance.
So what do you look for in your casting?
A good attitude, ability to take my directions. I'll sometimes throw things at them in the audition process that has nothing to do with the character, but I want to see that they're following my direction. But for me, the audition starts from the minute they walk into audition. I usually have somebody sitting at the table that looks really dorky and like nobody want to get to know them. And I want to know after the auditions are over how they were treated. Because if somebody comes in and treats somebody that looks like it's a nobody, like they're poop, I want nothing to do with them. And then when they're in the auditions, I will see what they can do, follow my directions, and then bring them back for callbacks. And then I start matching and mixing and seeing what I need, and that's it.
Yeah, because again, you did a really good job. This type of play, obviously not being a classic or it not being something really well known, but again, it could fall apart. But every piece, every actor actually added it to it. I mean, how do you do that? Is that just in your mind? Is this something you're gifted with, or did someone give you some advice? This is what you do?
No. I'm an actor, and I've been really directed bad, and I've been directed great. But my directing career started with one of my teachers, Charles Nelson Riley, would say to me when I was doing musical theater stuff with him, "You ought to be directing. You got to be directing, Linda. You should be directing." I went, "Charles, I don't want to direct." No, you got to direct. And so people started asking me to direct. So I started doing it. And I've done a lot of comedies, I've done some original plays, but when I do an original piece, I carry a great responsibility on me that I will give the author the intent of their vision at all costs. And I tell that to the cast. We won't change a word, we won't do anything without the author's permission, the playwrights. And we just create things together. And what happens many times is I'll watch what's going on. I'll come in with an idea, I do the basic blocking, and we talk about characters and everything, but then I start giving them some ideas, and I let them take off, because I believe that if you allow the actor to find the truth inside of them, you never have to direct them again. They'll always remember the blocking, they'll always remember the intent, they'll always remember the truth.
So is that the most challenging thing about directing? Is there anything else to it?
The production stuff is the most difficult with directing, keeping everything going behind. If you cast the people correctly, it's not a problem, because if they have good attitudes and they bring new things to every rehearsal, and you as a director don't cut that off of them, you allow them to bring that freshness in, they'll continue to bring you fresh things. And you say, yes, that works, no, that doesn't work, or then they give you an idea for something else. And then they give you the credit for it, but they don't realize it was something they did that spurred something in you as the director. So I liken it to painting a picture. We all have a brush and we put it on so we can create this wonderful masterpiece.
Okay. Well, again, I like the performance.
Thank you so much for coming.
Sure. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I'm Christy Giovanni, the playwright for The Claw. I've graduated from NYU's dramatic writing program, and I've been a member of Theatre West for quite a while, and I run I co-moderate the writers' workshop here.
Great. So why did you decide to write something like this?
Well, I just got two characters in my head, Christian and Hugo, and they were in an argument, and I needed to find out what the argument was about.
So what was this? Was it a comedy? Was it a dark comedy? Was it a drama? Or what was it?
I think it's a lot of things. It's not one specific thing, but it's a romance, it's a comedy, it's a mystery of sorts. So it's sort of a mashup of genres. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting in the sense that it covered a lot of things, and basically, again, it was more how should I put it? It was more kind of out of there opposed to being classical.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. That it's an exaggeration of a truth, maybe, rather than a reality. So we tried to ground the play with the set so that it seemed very real, and yet the action of the play is not real at all.
Was there some kind of conclusion, like, don't try to go for the myths, or basically kind of go for the reality?
I think yes. Don't try to take myth away from us by proving that it's real. Let it be mysterious, and so we have something to fuel our imagination. I think that would be it.
Is there any kind of advice you can give for the younger writers out there?
Just keep plugging away, write, and get into a workshop if you can, if that's what you like to do. Not a lot of, some writers do like that. Not everyone likes to have a workshop, but if you can find one that you trust, and just keep writing, write as much as you possibly can. That's the most important thing.
Right, Ashley. Some people have asked me why I don't do more writing, because, again, a lot of people are getting rid of their theater critics, and someone from Orange County Register, a photographer there, I talked to her for a while. She said, if you actually wrote something, we'd probably publish it.
It may be true.
But I find writing very hard. It's hard. So I mean, for this thing, I mean, I just interview people, right?
Yes.
Writing, you got to sit down and actually think.
Right. Well, yeah, you have to think, and there's all kinds of writing. I mean, I only write plays, so that's kind of what I focus on. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Elliot Davis. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I moved to Los Angeles about 2 years ago. I'm theatrically trained at Virginia Commonwealth University, and I've been working since I was about 17. I play Hugo. Hugo is a manic survivor of a house fire that rescues a trinket of his father's and hopefully intends to bring his father back to life.
I love this play, but I loved it because the actors, they actually made everything gel. It's almost like you forced everything to work, and it worked.
We are a very cohesive unit. We're a tight ensemble, and we do a really good job of playing off of each other.
Yeah. So what did you base your character on? How did you do it?
Well, you look at the text and you think, what are the choices that I can make to make this interesting and truthful and all of those honest decisions, and then you try to make it fun for yourself. And the audience, ideally.
Yeah, you don't seem to be a manic type person.
I am definitely not manic, but it sure is fun to play on stage.
Oh, great. Also, got a question. A lot of my viewers are actually community theater actors. They've worked like for 15 years. They get paid nothing. They're trying to break into the business. They just can't seem to find anything to work. So, is there any kind of advice you can give them?
Well, I think all you can do is just keep trying and keep working. And if you, there's a phrase that it's preparation meets luck. So you have to be ready for it whenever that chance comes your way. And as long as you're prepared, it'll come eventually.
So how did it come for you?
I was on the East Coast and someone was like, here's your SAG card for doing essentially the same thing that I'm doing on this stage. And I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. But I just got here. I'm still super fledgling for LA.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much. You have a good night.
Great. Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I am Adam Langsam. I just did the show The Claw. I was playing the character Christian.
Great. And could I have a brief bio of you?
A quick bio? Sure. Right here from Los Angeles. Went to undergraduate up in Santa Barbara. Went to New York for about 5 years. Studied at a nice conservatory called Stella Adler. And then I decided to come back to Los Angeles with my fiance and settle down here. I played Christian Deerfield. Christian is he's pretty much a rich kid from the Upper East Side of New York, somebody who I didn't really get to be when I was actually living in New York. He has a lot of money, he has very good taste, but unfortunately he's also kind of just not a nice person, but he still loves his family and loves everything that his family represents.
I love the character and the way you played it. You played it so, so colorfully, so goofy. I mean, anyone in this type of play, if someone would have played it more straightly, I don't think it would have worked.
Yeah, you really just have to take Christian for all he's worth. He was so much fun. Everything is done. When you have that kind of money and you want everything to be perfect, and unfortunately, when things try to go exactly the way you want them, they never do, and that's where all the fun comes in.
Plus, I also admire your comical timing and all that.
Oh, thank you. It's with a farce, it can be very difficult. It's it looks like it's so easy when you're watching it, like it just happens so lightly, but really it takes impeccable timing and just repetitiveness over and over again. But at the same time, you find something new every night. Like a couple of those falls up there, they weren't supposed to happen that way.
Actually, I've always been curious about this because I'm kind of a student and all that. Basically, about comedy. What is comedy anyway? I mean, can you learn something like that? Is it just innate? I mean, does it come natural to you?
Comedy is something that I feel is actually much harder than any other type of acting out there, because making people cry can be done with just a situation, but for comedy, to get people to laugh, you really have to open up to them, and they have to open up to you so you can both enjoy that moment. And comedy is just something that it's very delicate, and if you try to push too hard, you get nothing in return. It's a very delicate piece you have to work with.
Well, again, I loved your performance.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out. It was a great time. I'm really excited for this run right now.
Okay, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm with
Lindsay Jean Retzel. I'm originally from Nebraska, moved out to LA about a year and a half ago. The whole cliche story of packing my car and driving out here and trying to make it as an actress and a writer.
Great. And which character did you play?
Felicity Merriweather. She is a medical student who also dabbles as a scientist in the art of cloning, and she also has a charity for train hoppers. So she comes to this house of Christian Deerfield and Hugo Bridges to get a donation, and things go crazy.
I loved your performance because in a play like this, it won't work without very strong actors who can actually make it work. What do you think about that?
Oh, thank you. I agree. It was when I first read the script, I fell in love with Felicity because she's an ingenue, and ingenues usually aren't smart, strong, confident women, and that's what she is. And I just fell in love with her immediately. And thank Chris for writing a wonderful female character.
I also like the chemistry between the entire group. I mean, how does that happen? Did it just happen by itself, or did you know each other, or what?
No, actually, most of us didn't know each other at all. A few of us are in the company, but it's so big that, you miss people. So yeah, it was just a small cast. We rehearsed all the time, and we just slowly became this tight-knit family, and chemistry just blossomed out of it. So it was great.
Great. So is there any kind of advice you can give to people? Because you did everyone just imagines doing something like you did, just packing your bag and going. What kind of advice can you give to the younger actors who are thinking about doing that?
I would say just if it's something you really want to do, follow it, and don't let anybody else try to deteriorate you or deter you from your goals, and just keep on keeping on, I guess, and don't listen to any of the haters, and just find your support wherever you can.
All right, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Arden Lewis from New York, and went to UCLA, and then went back to New York, and then came back out here in '93, and I've been here at Theater West for over 20 years. This is like my home, my theatrical home. I played Detective Woodbine. She's the outsider. She's been hired to solve one crime, and then partway through the show, another crime appears, and now suddenly she's in this Manhattan home of affluence trying to figure out who did it, basically.
Yeah, I like the play. I like the play basically because of the characters, the actors who did it. I think they did a real good job. It's almost like, a workshop thing where you guys are given this script and says, okay, do the best, and all the actors just gel together.
It is a lovely group, and we all wait for each other's laughs. We cover, we've timed, we've rehearsed all these little tiny bits over and over and over and over again, so they're smooth as glass, and it's been a nice group. There isn't a lazy actor in this bunch. We're just just a bunch of workaholics.
So is there, seeing as you had such a history of acting, is there any kind of advice you can give to the younger actors out there?
Oh my gosh. Keep doing plays. You wait a long time in between auditions. You wait a long time in between films. You wait a long time before, maybe you do 5 lines on a sitcom and then you have to wait for another job. But keep doing those plays because it just keeps you ready. And you're ready for, especially the comedy. I mean, stage work is so good for sitcom work. It just supports it all.
Yeah. How did you get into Theatre West? Because I realize how consistently good work they send out.
It's kind of funny. I'm from New York, and in Manhattan, if you've ever been there, you walk everywhere. I mean, you can walk 60 blocks in a day, and you walk everywhere for your jobs and your auditions. So we moved here, down by Michelli's, and I came out of my apartment one day and said, I saw a theater. As I was going by, I'll just walk over there. 30 minutes in the heat, sweaty mess, I arrive at Theatre West, I walk up the stairs, it's 1994, and I meet a man named Doug Marnie, God rest his soul, who was the manager at the time, and said, I'm dying. He goes, you don't walk in LA. What's the matter with you? Why did you walk here? And I went, I'm from New York. I walk everywhere. So that began it, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, I just stumbled upon Theatre West myself because I review so many shows.
Yeah.
I've done this year I've done 55 shows already, and I'm just yes. Theatre West is just a gem.
What a journalist. Good for you.
Well, it's not as hard as you think it is. Yeah, but Theatre West is a nice gem that I found. Yeah.
Oh, well, I appreciate you coming. I mean, I just love having you here. This is terrific.
Great. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
And thank you for supporting live theater.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Joe Nassi. Grew up in Seattle, trained all up and down the West Coast, worked up and down the West Coast. Started in, done a lot of theme parks and films and theater and stunts and sword fights and acting and directing and fight directing and more stuff if they pay me.
And which character did you play?
I was Ricardo tonight.
And could I have a brief synopsis of Ricardo?
Ricardo is the butler in the Deerfield mansion who is trying to get some peace between the two cousins and trying to accomplish his own secret agenda.
I really love the characters, the way you made everything mesh. Because again, this play wasn't really a classic, and it's kind of a new, evolving work. But actually, the characters, because they're strong acting, made everything work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I agree. These are. I felt like when I first read the script, they're very well-rounded characters, and mine to be able to do all the physical stuff, plus the acting, plus all of the accents and dialect, and then be able to do comedy, then actually have a serious scene with Christian. It's pretty much I touch all the bases. It's so much fun to do, and it helps me do it all quickly.
Yeah, basically I recommend going this not for the script but for the actors because they did such a good masterful job of it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. The script, it's a new script. It came out of workshop here at Theatre West, which is one of the wonderful things about being a member here is that we have a strong body of actors and we have a strong body of writers, and we get to work together and see how things work out. And you never know where things are going to go. The first big hit of this company was Spoon River Anthology back in the 60s. Everybody knows it as a high school thing, but it started in this building here and came out of Writer's Workshop. So there's always something cool happening at Theatre West.
Great. Okay, seeing as you have so much experience doing so much stuff, is there any kind of advice that you can give to any of my viewers who are interested in getting more into acting or maybe more into writing or directing?
You got to do it. Just do it wherever you can. I actually took a break from acting for a while to raise a kid, and now that I'm back doing it, I've learned I say yes to everything, whatever. I say yes to everything, and I make it work, and it's a very great way to learn and train and grow. So I would say just get out there. If you want to write, right. If you want to act, act. If you want to do stunts, get physical and train, and then hustle.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with...
Hi, I'm Joe Phillip Oni. I've been out here in LA for about 6.5, 7 years. I've done a lot of TV, web series, films, theater. This was actually my first time being back on stage after about 3 years of just doing on-camera work. I'm also a writer, been nominated for a couple of awards. I have a blog that was recently nominated for a Grammy Awards, so yeah, just kind of living the dream and making it happen. I played the young man slash the cat. I'm basically a cat burglar, very mysterious. I had to become a cat in order to survive some stuff that happened to me a few years ago, so it kind of became my survival technique, and now I am trapped in this crazy house full of these crazy people, and I'm just trying to get out throughout the play.
So how did you handle this character? It's a character that, I mean, you can't look at TV and get an example of. This isn't a classic, so no one else has done this before. How do you tackle a character like this?
Well, I think it helped that I have a dance background, so I'm kind of flexible already. I know my body, I know how to move, and honestly, I spent a lot of time on YouTube watching cat videos, seeing what cats do when they get scared, when they are stalking prey. I have friends that have cats, so I watch their cats, and as stupid as it sounds, I kind of watch like Batman clips of like Catwoman, so I watch like Lee Merriweather, Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, just to see how they moved and try to get that. And I also worked with one of the members of the artistic board here at Theatre West, Don Moore, who has directed people on how to do feline movement. He worked for an hour with me, and we just went through all of my bits and just really got like how to move, finding objectives, doing stuff with my voice to make the meows all different, because I do meow a lot in this show.
Okay, well, I enjoyed your performance.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Great. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Of course, of course.
The Claw will be playing at Theatre West from June 4th to June 21st. For more information, go to theaterwest.org or search for AMB Theatre. That's all one word, AMB Theatre on Facebook.